Hi, how are you all? In the previous recorded session, I sent you the recitation of the poem and also I had assigned you an assignment. So I hope you all have done the assignment because it is very much needed to understand the poem. So the title of the poem is Nobleness, Enkindelth, Nobleness. This poem has been taken from the Bible or Quran. The poem actual name is Yusuf, which is the character of Joseph and Abraham in Bible and Yusuf and Ibrahim in the Holy Quran. Here, the prescribed poem that has been prescribed for you is Nobleness, Enkindelth, Nobleness. Firstly, we have to understand the title of the poem. What is this nobleness, Enkindelth, nobleness? The simple meaning of nobleness is goodness, isn't it? Yes. The actual meaning of Enkindelth, that is Enkindle, Enkindle. The poem Enkindle means to light a fire, ya jalana, aag lagana. How is this the title Enkindleness, nobleness, Enkindelth, nobleness? See, when it comes for poetry, it is always not necessary to look up the dictionary meaning. Sometimes it is connotative also, that is based on the context. We call it connotative meaning. So here, the actual meaning of nobleness, Enkindelth, nobleness means goodness. See, nobleness actual meaning is goodness. So the meaning would be goodness lights goodness, or अच्छाई को उभरने देती है. You can also say that goodness has the possibility of creating many other acts of goodness, or it generates more goodness. See, when you simply write it here, you can write it goodness generates goodness. See, in simple, to understand the poem, goodness generates goodness. Here, what are the qualities of goodness? Like, as I told you to go through the meanings of this word: pity, forgive, condole, console, grant, amnesty, compassion, mercy, lament, pardon, reprieve, solace and asylum. See, goodness includes, like, we are showing sympathy towards others, or we are being very kind to old people. We are being very kind to the small children also. We have a good character in us. The character good includes, like, we are being very sympathetic towards old people. We are helping old people. We are not annoying them. Few people, they annoy the old people. Oh, just look at this old man. How is he? We make fun of old people. But goodness means we are showing sympathy towards goodness. If somebody dies, we condole and console them. That is the qualities of goodness. When we have qualities of goodness, it generates more goodness and brings happiness to our life. We must not always expect something. We must always, as human being, we must always try to help others. We have to lend our service to others, lend our service to society. We should develop all these qualities which a human being requires throughout the world. If we don't have that qualities in us, then our heart becomes very dark. Our mind will not be working properly. We will not be into a happy life. When we want happiness in life, we must always see our happiness in others by helping others, by lending our service to society. If somebody comes to you, if you can help it, surely you have to help it. That is the poem which has been prescribed for you, the act of kindness. The act of kindness. Let me read the poem and let's go through stanza by stanza. A stranger came one night to Yusuf's tent, saying, "Behold one outcast and in dread, against whose life the bow of power is bent, who flies and hath nowhere to lay his head. I come to thee for shelter and for food, to Yusuf called through all our tribes the good." Before we enter into the poem, it is very much necessary to understand few words like had. I told you to go through the words of this, and they've also given the, and also yes. See, the actual meaning of had is have. It is an archaic term. The word archaic means Old English, which was used in 14th and 15th century. That is archaic. We call it actually as Old English. In Old English we use the term had, but now it has been turned into have, or it can be has. Okay? And these actually your. These your. These are the two words that we encounter in the first stanza. And dread. The word dread means in fear or khawf. Khawf zyada, bahut zyada dar. And also outcast. The word outcast means who has been expelled from the community, or a standard word, ostracized. This is the standard word which we actually use it, or you can also say expelled from community. Expelled from community means if somebody does wrong, we throw them out of the community. Before 18th or also in 14th century, 15th century, 16th century or 17th or 18th century, even present day also, in few places, if somebody does something wrong, they throw them out of the city. I mean to say the villages. They throw them out of the villages. That is outcast. Like ये हमारी बिरादरी में शामिल नहीं हो सकता. If you have seen the old movies, there you can encounter this outcast. If somebody marries an inter-religion, they throw them out of this village, telling them you are expelled from the village. You will not mingle with our community, our village people, and nobody will help that stranger also. That is outcast. So one night, it was a very dark night, a stranger comes to Yusuf. Why does he only come to Yusuf? Because that community calls Yusuf as very kind and generous person and calls him good. Firstly, we have to understand that it is a very gloomy, dark night. A stranger is expelled from this community, and whatever he had, he has lost all the powers. Now there is nothing left with that stranger, but somewhere he had heard that there is a person called Yusuf. There is a person called Yusuf who is very kind and generous, and the tribe means that community calls Yusuf as good. So he goes to Yusuf to ask help. Did you understand? Because why has he expelled means? Because he has done something wrong and he is now considered as outcast and a stranger. Nobody will help him. But Yusuf is very generous, very kind. He offers help to the stranger. That is the first stanza. The tent is mine, said Yusuf, but no more than it is God. Come in and be at peace. Freely shalt. See, this is the old English. Make sure that you copy this thing in your notes. Next, the word I have used is shalt. Thou, freely shalt thou partake of all my store, as I of his who buildeth over these. Our tents, his glorious roof of night and day, and whose store none ever hath heard name. See, Yusuf is telling, this tent is mine, but it is more than me, it belongs to God. It means that Yusuf always believed in God. This tent may be mine, but it is equal belongs to God, because it is God's mercy upon human beings that we are all here. Freely shalt thou partake all my store. Shalt means shall. Again, this is an archaic word, and thou means again you. Or thou means you as a singular subject of a verb. See, freely shall partake. Partake means eat or drink something. Here, shall is shall, thou is you, and partake means eat or drink something. He is telling the stranger is inside the house, inside Yusuf's house. Now, Yusuf entertains the guest, telling that whatever here it is, you can take, you can drink, and you can be at peace. आप यहाँ पर खाओ पियो और आराम से रहो, because ये मेरा घर नहीं बल्कि ये खुदा का घर है. This home belongs to God. It is not only me. It is the mercy of God upon me that I am staying here very freely. In the same way, even you can stay freely in this house. You can eat and drink whatever you want freely without hesitating, and you can sleep calmly here. Because this night, this day is all because of God only. And whoever comes to my door, I will never say no, in the same way as God never say no to his followers. If we ask something to God, oh God, please bless me with something, God definitely listens to us. But it may happen that he blesses lately, but he blesses definitely. There is a proverb in Urdu telling that देर है खुदा के घर देर है मगर अंधेर नहीं. In the same way, whoever comes to Yusuf's home, there is no word like no, because he never utters that word, and he always helps the strangers or whoever comes to his door. There is also one more कहावत in Urdu, जब भी कोई साहिल घर पर आता है तो हमें कभी उसको ना नहीं बोलना चाहिए. This is the same proverb that applies for Yusuf also. Whoever comes to his door, come to his door in the sense, if there is a beggar at door, there is someone at the door, we call it. Like that, whoever comes to the door, they never say no. This is about the second stanza. The third stanza is, so Yusuf entertained his guest that night, and waking him ere day said, here is gold, my swiftest horse is saddled for thy flight. Depart before the prying day grow bold, as one lamp likes another, nor grows less, so nobleness Enkindelth nobleness. So here there is also two words like ere. Ere is before or in time. And also the old word is yes. So that night the stranger stays at Yusuf's home, and before time, like before the sun rises, Yusuf wakes the stranger. See, before time, he wakes the stranger and tells that, see, I have kept you some gold, you can take the gold, and my swiftest horse. Yusuf had so many horses, so in that the one who runs very swiftly, very fastly, Yusuf offers that horse to the stranger and tells to move as soon as is possible, because the prying day, the word prying day means because there were some followers, there were few enemies chasing for the stranger, who are in search of the stranger. and Yusuf doesn't want this stranger to be caught. So he gives his fastest horse and asks him to move as fast as possible from his house so that the enemies should not catch him. And he tells that as one lamp lights another. See, if you have two candles, this is burning candle, assume it, and this is not burning candle. If I burn this candle to this candle, it may never loses anything. Even in fact, it lights this one. In the same way, goodness always generates goodness. Did you understand? See, Yusuf has helped this stranger, right? But it has, Yusuf's wealth did not become less. Actually, he has been benefited more and more, because as much as we give to other, God blesses in double, thrice, 4 times more than what we have given to the strangers. कहते हैं ना कि आप साहिल को मदद करो, अगर आप ये दोगे तो अल्लाह आपको 10 देगा. In the same way, if we help others, God helps us. So he tells that one lamp lights another lamp, and if I light the lamp to this, it never grows less. So in the same way, goodness always generates goodness. If we help somebody, God helps us. So he's telling that one. See, he has given the gold, he has given the horse, but there is something more blessed that is coming from the God. That inward light the stranger's face made grand, which shines from all self-conquest, kneeling low, he bowed his forehead upon Yusuf's hand, sobbing, O Sheikh, I cannot leave thee, son, I'll repay thee all this thou hast done. Unto that Ibrahim who slew thy son. Here, there is a light on the stranger. What's that light? The kindness, that generosity that Yusuf had bestowed on the stranger. Looking at the generosity and the kindness of Yusuf, the strangers tell that he kneels down. Kneels down means it's a kneel down. He sits on his knee, and he keeps like this. He was sobbing means he's crying. He holds Yusuf's hand and he bow his head like this by holding the hand of Yusuf, and tells that, O Sheikh, I cannot leave you because it's me, Ibrahim, who has killed your son. The word slew means murder violently. And has means has, and as I told you, thee is your. Unto means till, to or until, and thee is you. He holds the hands like that. Ibrahim, the stranger's name is Ibrahim, who has slew. The word slew means kill violently. It is actually a stranger who has killed Yusuf's son. Why did he confess that time? Because the stranger saw the kindness, the generosity of Yusuf, and he couldn't control himself by looking at the generosity, by looking at the mercy of Yusuf. And he confesses that it is Ibrahim who has killed Yusuf's son. And he says that if you want, you can do anything with me, you can punish me. It is me who has killed your son. What would be the reaction of Yusuf? He had to become angry because it's his son who has been killed by Ibrahim. What he does, let me see. Take thrice the gold, said Yusuf, for with thee into the desert, never to return. My one black thought shall ride away from me. Firstborn, for whom by day and night I yearn, balanced and just are all of God's decree. Thou art avenged, my firstborn, sleep in peace. Instead of getting angry, Yusuf offers him thrice the gold. He gives him 3 times more of the gold and tells him just go away from here. Go to the desert and never come back to me. Because along with you, I was thinking to take the revenge of my son. I was thinking that whoever has killed my son, I should take revenge. जो भी मेरे बच्चे को मारा है, मैं उससे बदला लेना चाहता हूँ. But he did not get angry. He offers him thrice the gold. He offers him 3 times gold. 3 गुना ज्यादा गोल्ड देते हैं और कहते हैं कि आप यहाँ से चले जाओ. और आपके साथ साथ जो मेरा एक ख्याल था कि I had to take the revenge, it will go along with you. Because I was yearning, matlab longing. I was longing for day and night when the day comes when I take the revenge of my son. But I think that is the order of the God that I should not take revenge, and you just go from here and never return, never show your face to me. You take this gold more, you take more and more gold, and you just go from here, because it is God's order that I should obey him, because I am very much kind and generous person. He takes and he tells that you have killed my son. Actually he was the first son of Joseph. And he tells that, let my son whom you have killed sleep at peace. We tell, right, okay, whoever let him be in peace, R.I.P., rest in peace. Like that, he offers him more and more gold and tells that you just go from here, go to the desert where from you should never return. And I think this is the order of the God that I should obey, and I should not take the revenge of my son. That one black thought. Black thought means he kept on thinking that I should take the revenge of my son. That's a black thought. And along with you, that black thought will ride away from me. That will go away from me along with you only. And I will never take the revenge of my son. My son who's killed now, let him be at peace, because this is the God's order and I should obey him. See, look at the generosity as well as the kindness of Yusuf. Somebody has killed his son. He is in front of him. He has confessed that I have killed your son. But still, he did not take revenge. Instead, he offered him more and more gold, and he just leaves. He forgives him. That is kindness. If we were there, what we have done? We would have slaved him, right? Or we would have just slit his throat, or we would have stabbed him to death. Isn't it? When there is somebody, like if someone dies in a matter, we tell them, whoever has killed my son, God should not leave him. God should you do this to his family. Let his family die in an accident. We curse them. Isn't it? But look at the generosity and kindness of Yusuf. Nor he cursed him, right? Neither he cursed him, nor he punished him. He just forgave him. In the same way, even we should develop the qualities of generosity, kindness, helping others, because it will bring happiness to life. That is what life is actually. We must always give instead of asking something. We must always lend our service to society, because that's the only thing that actually provides happiness. You just help somebody today while going, okay, the one who's actually in need. You feel so happy, you even can't comprehend that situation, right? So be more generous. You should develop such qualities as a human being. You as a student must and should develop such qualities, because you will be the upcoming generation. You will be the citizens of this country, and this country needs more people like Yusuf, who's more kind, more generous. Not only helping others, you must also help others in their studies. If they are not knowing anything, if they ask any help for you, make sure that you always help them. Okay? If you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. I'll always there to clarify the doubt. Stay home. Bye-bye.